It was a stormy autumn evening when I first laid eyes on the dilapidated house that would forever haunt my nightmares. The rain fell in heavy sheets, obscuring the moonlit night and adding an eerie ambience to the scene. The wind howled, rattling the remaining windows and whispering secrets through the ancient trees that surrounded the property. The moment I set foot on the creaking porch, a shiver ran down my spine. The house stood tall and imposing, its once grand facade now marred by years of neglect and decay. The paint had long peeled away, revealing the rotting wood beneath, and the front door hung precariously from its hinges. Yet, despite its obvious state of disrepair, there was something undeniably captivating about the place. Driven by equal parts curiosity and trepidation, I pushed the door open, its rusty hinges screaming in protest. The interior was cloaked in darkness, save for a faint glow emanating from a distant room. Each step I took echoed throughout the empty house, amplifying the sound of my own racing heartbeat. The glow led me down a long corridor, the walls adorned with faded wallpaper that depicted scenes of a bygone era. The air felt heavy, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The house seemed to have a life of its own, breathing in the shadows that clung to every corner. I reached the room from which the light emanated and pushed the door open with a trembling hand. The sight that greeted me was both mesmerizing and disturbing. The room was filled with flickering candles, casting dancing shadows on the walls. An altar stood at the center, covered in dust and adorned with arcane symbols. As I stepped closer, a gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing the candles in an instant. Darkness enveloped me, and a chill ran down my spine. Panic seized my chest, but I forced myself to remain calm and find a way out. Just as I turned to leave, a whisper echoed through the room. It was a soft, raspy voice that seemed to come from all directions at once. "Leave," it hissed, sending a shiver down my spine. Ignoring the growing sense of dread, I hurried back through the corridor, desperate to escape the clutches of the haunted house. Days turned into weeks, and my encounter with the house lingered in my thoughts. Its allure gnawed at my mind, beckoning me to return. I couldn't resist its call any longer. I had to uncover its secrets, no matter the cost. On a moonlit night, I found myself standing once again on the porch of the house. The rain had given way to a dense fog that clung to the air, obscuring my vision. The world outside seemed to fade away, leaving only the haunted house and my compulsion to explore it. This time, the front door swung open as if welcoming me back. The darkness inside seemed deeper, more malevolent than before. I cautiously stepped over the threshold, my heart pounding in my chest. The house whispered secrets to me, promising answers to questions I hadn't even asked. I ventured deeper into its twisted corridors, my senses heightened by the unknown. The house seemed to be in a perpetual state of decay, each step I took stirring up dust and long, forgotten memories. The walls oozed with a dampness that permeated the air, and the faint scent of mildew lingered on my tongue. As I explored the upper floors, a chilling breeze swept through the house, carrying with it the mournful wails of the forgotten souls that once dwelled within its walls. It whispered tales of tragedy and despair, weaving a tapestry of horror that seeped into my very soul. I found myself in a room that defied the laws of time. The walls were adorned with portraits of a family, their faces distorted by pain and sorrow. In the center of the room, a cradle rocked back and forth, its movement driven by an unseen force. The sound of a baby's cries filled the air, piercing my ears and shredding my sanity. Unable to withstand the torment any longer, I stumbled out of the room and into a narrow hallway. The walls seemed to close in on me, squeezing the breath from my lungs. Shadows danced and writhed along the floor, their jagged edges threatening to consume me whole. I finally reached the attic, the highest point of the house. It was a vast space, filled with forgotten relics and mementos from a time long gone. The air was thick with the stench of decay and despair, making it difficult to breathe. In the dim light, I noticed a solitary mirror standing at the center of the room. Its surface was tarnished, and cracks spiderwebbed across its fragile frame. I approached it cautiously, my reflection distorted and grotesque. As I stared into the mirror, my surroundings shifted. The room melted away, replaced by a horrifying vision. I saw the house in its prime, filled with laughter and life. But as the scene unfolded, the laughter turned into screams, and the life transformed into despair. I was transported to the past, a witness to the house's dark history. I saw a family torn apart by tragedy and driven to madness. Their tortured souls remained trapped within the house, forever tormented by their own anguish. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the depths of the mirror, its twisted form writhing with malice. It reached out to me, its bony fingers inches away from my face. I tried to turn away to escape the clutches of the nightmare, but I was paralyzed with fear. The figure's voice echoed through the room, its words dripping with venom. "You have trespassed on our domain," it hissed. "Now you shall never leave."
In a desperate act of defiance, I mustered the last ounce of strength within me and shattered the mirror with a nearby object. The room returned to its decrepit state, and the figure vanished into thin air. As the mirror shattered, the house shook with fury. The walls groaned, and the floor trembled beneath my feet. The darkness receded, as if afraid of the light that poured in through the broken windows.
In a final act of defiance, I raced through the house, dodging falling debris and evading the grasping shadows that sought to ensnare me. The front door beckoned like a beacon of salvation, and I stumbled through it, gasping for air. Outside, the storm had subsided, and the moon bathed the world in a pale glow. I turned to look back at the house, its menacing facade now a mere shadow in the distance. I knew that I had escaped its clutches, but the scars it had left on my soul would remain forever. The haunted house stood as a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within even the most innocuous places.